The top performers are proudly sponsored by Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder. Here are your top performers from round number 2 of the Betfred Super League. The most tries scored this week came from Jai Field of the Wigan Warriors against Hull FC at the MKM with a brilliant hat-trick. Whilst the most try assists came from Jack Welsby of St Helens with 4. The most meters made in the round was once again Jack Welsby, 244. Whilst the most clean breaks came from Nene McDonald of the Salford Red Devils, also with 4. The biggest tackle buster of the round was Jack Welsby with 14. Whilst the most hard meters made, you've got to be a prop forward, second row or loose ball for this one, was big Alex Wormsley with 198 for St Helens. The most offloads came from Jack Welsby once again with 6. Whilst we have a 3-way tie for the top tackler, Jay Pitt, Jeremiah Simikin and Zach Wolford, all with 50. The most goal kicks in the round came from Aaron Kieran, who got 7 from his 8. These are your top performers from round number 2 of the Betfred Super League. This production comes to you in association with the Bluebell Warrington. Situated in an 18th century building in the town centre and just a 5-minute walk from the HJ Stadium, the Bluebell is the perfect destination for pre- and post-game food and drink. The 2024 Warrington Pub of the Year is now the official home of Super League Raw on Warrington Wolves match days for both home and away supporters. Super League Raw are delighted to have agreed a members-only area, allowing our community to come together to discuss rugby league pre- and post-match. So set your course to the Bluebell Warrington on match days and beyond. You are sure to be greeted with a warm welcome and a cold beer. Super League Raw and the Bluebell, the perfect partnership in enhancing your match day experience. So good evening and welcome to Super League Raw Weekly this Tuesday evening. I don't know where Greg's gone, but he's around somewhere. Can't see him. There he is. Your camera's just come back on. Good evening, sir. Good evening to Greg. Good evening to Steph. And good evening to Lord Scholes of Huddersfield. Good to see you all, gentlemen, for another night of merriment of rugby league. Great stuff. Right, we'll go straight there to begin with before we've got some very important business in a moment. Very important business indeed. Mr. Sales out there, just hold your horses. Hope Alfie is watching. More about that in a moment. But before we get to that, we put on our poster for tonight's show a picture of Mikey Lewis and the headline, Heartbreak. And it is heartbreaking for the rest of Super League because Mikey is not going to be out for that long. Outstanding news, gentlemen. Mikey Lewis, man of steel, should be back for next week. I, for one, absolutely buzzing. We need Mikey Greg in Super League.
Yeah, it's great news. We need our best players on the pitch to promote the sport. And it's such a relief for the whole KR fans. I, for one, heard he was out for the season. And it did look pretty bad when he came back on with a boot on whatever night it was. Hello, Joel. But yeah, great news. Great news for KR fans. Great news for Super League. Not so great news for everybody else.
Well, certainly not. I mean, supposedly, Steph, penciled in for St. Helens in a week's time. It's nice to see that Saints are going to have a player, bit of quality against them.
Yeah, no, it's great news. We all feared the worst when we saw him hobbling about there, and obviously with his leg in a boot, you think if he needs an operation here, that could be a bit of a long-term one. So great news for Super League. We need stars like Mikey Lewis to shine on the biggest stages, and we're all thrilled he's going to be okay.
Absolutely. Not good news if you're Salford, as I've already said there, Joel. I mean, Joel, what's absolutely of paramount importance here is that, he's given enough time. We don't want him rushed back, even if it takes 2 or 3, maybe 4 weeks. I mean, far better than what Greg said. I mean, like I said, we all feared it was a season ender. So I just hope that KR take it easy, mate.
Yeah, and it's not like they're without quality. We've seen from just 1 week of Danny Richardson playing for us. He had an outstanding game, so there's not a lack of quality. I think when you've got a player of his caliber, you've got to look after him first. You put the player first with things like that, because otherwise it could result in a much longer injury, and that is the last thing that we all need.
Absolutely. Phenomenal news. We're all absolutely delighted. Many, many congratulations to you, Robins fans. You were sweating, wasn't you? And don't try and tell me you weren't. But the big man, or the little man with the big heart, is back, which is fantastic. Good evening to everybody in the chat. Robert Higson's there. Nige Bennett is there. Josh Grimes, Dawn Baker. I think I've seen the likes of Freddie McGilvey, Matty Tim, Bill Webster, Craig Forth. They're all in. Keep getting your comments in. We've got lots to get through tonight. Right, okie dokie. Before we get to a very, very important part of the show, I just want to give this another plug. As you know, our sponsor, one of our sponsors this year, Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust Squad Builder, they've got an event coming up at the Halliwell Jones Stadium on the 22nd of March. Doors open at 6:30 for a 7 p.m. start. Tickets only 20 quid. It's to raise money to get the youngsters over to Australia. If you're in or around Warrington, it would be lovely if you could support the Warrington Wolves Supporters Trust. Some great work being done there. Maybe a player or two in the on the evening. Certainly some of the squad builder lads who've been through the programme, I'm sure they'll be there. Potentially the likes of Kai Taylor-Ray, Aaron Lindop, those kind. That's not confirmed, but they do support these type of things. I know that if they can, they will be there. But it's going to be a great night of entertainment. Do get along and support that. Right, okay. Thank you to everybody. What great titles. I'm loving our titles this year. I mean, we're getting swamped with photographs. It's wonderful to see people, people in the grounds. Yeah, Greg, in the grounds enjoying rugby league. It's really, really fantastic to see that. So keep those coming in. It's what sets us apart. It really is what sets us apart at Super League Raw. However, I got a message from a dad of a young lad called Alfie Sales, no relation to Steph. There's an S on the end of it, saying, would you mind putting this in your titles? And I thought, no, it's more than titles. It's far more than titles. So, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play you what they sent to me. This is what Rugby League is all about. When you get a new shirt as a supporter. Now, those who are listening on the podcast, you won't be able to see this. It's only about 20 seconds long, so just bear with us. But I want to introduce you all to a young man, a very special young man called Alfie Sales.
Good lad.
Absolutely heartwarming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now we get serious. Alfie has got muscular dystrophy, or strain of muscular dystrophy. His dad sent me that because Alfie wants to raise awareness for what is a very, very cruel disease, and he is fighting a great fight, and he's living with it really, really well. So I felt it was very important tonight that we did that for Alfie. But we're going to go one step further at Super League Raw. He's touched me that much. We've all got kids. So for me, to Alfie and his dad, first things first, we are going to send Alfie a bit of our merchandise for him to wear. but he's also going to join us, him and his dad, at Club Wembley for the Challenge Cup, if he will accept our invitation. I want Alfie with us at the Challenge Cup, whether Lee are there or not, enjoying a very, very special day at Wembley. These are the memories that we all carry with us. So I want you and Alfie to join us at Club Wembley. Send us your details, get in touch. You've got my number. Give me a call. We'll get that arranged. What a very, very special young man, lads.
Brilliant gesture.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, what a special young lad. And I think he's got his own registered charity thing, hasn't he, going as well?
He has indeed. We're going to share that. It's called Action for Alfie. Action for Alfie. We will put that on the comments. We'll make sure that we give that plenty of plugs as well. Somebody's already done the QR code to be a member. This is why you should become a member. Nobody does what we do. Nobody. We are a community. We are a family, and we look after each other. So, on behalf of all of us, Alfie, my mate, you keep battling away. You keep smiling with your shirt on, and we'll see you at Wembley. And maybe before that, Steph might see you knocking around the Lee Sports Village as well. But you go well, young man, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person. We all are. So very important that we did that tonight. Very pleased that we've been able to do that tonight. And happy days. Let's now move on at a pace because we've got plenty to get through. And we know when there's news and lots of news to go through, there's only one way we do it here at Super League Raw. Banging or hanging? Yes, it's that time again where it's banging or hanging. And first up this evening is going to be Mr. Gregory Nixon. So as we do, we'll say goodbye to Steph, we'll say goodbye to Joel, and we'll bring in Greg, because Greg, you're going to be talking to us about the ruck speed. Is it too slow, sir? Burgess and McNamara, I believe it is.
Well, yeah, I've been thinking about this, and I had a chat with my eldest, who, as you know, plays Warrington first team, out injured at the minute. But they had a meeting with referees a couple of weeks ago. And this is all about the tackle. If you're deemed dominant by the referee in the tackle, you get a little bit longer at the tackle to peel off the tackle player. So this is all about being rewarded for being dominant in the tackle. So at the minute it's hanging, but once the players get used to it, then it should be banging, because it rewards good defence. In the opposite way, if you're not dominant in the tackle, then you get less time to hold a player down, and it rewards the attacking player. So hanging at the minute, because I think a lot of people don't quite realise that, but it should, as we found with the rule changes last season, there's an awful lot of confusion. But I'm hoping that it once people get used to it, and the players, and it will get a lot better as the season progresses.
Fantastic. Well done, Greg. Greg goes in. Now comes Mr. Sale. Mr. Sale, you have got Roy Keane. He knows an athlete when he sees one. Rugby League professionals are the best in the world. Should the Rugby Football League and Super League jump on the likes of Roy Keane to market our product?
Absolutely, they should. You know, the football gets obviously a massive audience, and when people like Roy Keane speak, then people tend to listen. He's one of the biggest personalities in the game, and when he talks about athletes and the toughness of our sport, people will listen to that. This is absolutely banging for me. We need to get more influences in our game to grow the sport, and once they discover it, they tend to stick around. So any help from people like Roy and anybody else like that is greatly appreciated. Absolutely banging.
Absolutely banging, says Mr. Sale. Now in comes Mr. Scholes. Mr. Scholes, Chris Kendall will be the official at Las Vegas this weekend, probably off the back of his 2024 Grand Final performance. The right choice, Joel?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, people should be rewarded for the hard work, and if they're putting good performances. Chris Kendall's, some people like him, some people don't like him. But certainly for Chris, I think it's great. It cannot be nothing but banging. I think it'd be the same for any referee that gets chosen, really.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, he was outstanding in that grand final last year. Maybe that's what's got him the gig. No arguments from me. We move on. We go back to Sir Gregory. Sir Gregory, the question I've got for you now is, will the Man of Steel 2025 be a fullback?
Why not? Why not? I mean, if you had Jack Wellesby in your fantasy team this week, you were laughing. A long way to go, but there's no reason why it shouldn't be. Matt Duffy, Jack Wellesby, as I say, there's no reason why it shouldn't be. We've always said here that Man of Steel should reflect all the qualities of a rugby league player. But fullbacks get a lot of hammer, so why not? And it'd be good if they deserve it. They deserve it at the end of the day.
It's a key position in the game. It's very early to say, but at the moment, if I was going to put a bit of money on which position might get Man of Steel this year, fullback wouldn't be a bad shout. Right, we go back to Mr. Sale. He'll be, of course, banging the drum for Mr. Armstrong, I'm sure. But anyway, we move on. Bradford Bulls, Widnes Vikings, and the Halifax Panthers all on maximum points in the championship. And we expected these to go well this year. They're off to a flyer, Steph.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Widnes have had a great win over in Toulouse, I think it was. Bradford and Halifax both played well in the Challenge Cup. Obviously, Bradford getting the win over Castleford. So we did expect these teams to do well. And it's good to see some traditional named clubs there, isn't it? They're all ex-Super League sides there. So going to be a very interesting season in the Championship. And I just wish it was televised because I used to love watching the Championship games. So if they televise them, I'll say banging.
Happy days indeed. There you go. There goes Mr. Sale. We're going to finish with Mr. Scholes. Mr. Scholes from Russia we love. The Temple of Doom. The Empire Strike Back. What have all these got in common? Well, of course, they were sequels, and this could be an incredible sequel. Wigan against Warrington in Dublin. Over to you, sir.
Fantastic. I think you need to have the best teams competing in different places. It's the only way to grow the game. We need the support. And we know the support's going crazy in Vegas, so we know for definite they'll go crazy in Dublin. I think all of us will probably try and make the trip over, won't we? So definitely a banging idea.
A banging idea. There's nothing like the way we do news. Only we do it this way. Banging or hanging. Gentlemen, I applaud you. Another fantastic, quick roundup of the news. Oh, what am I doing there? Good Lord, no. Let's get a bit of order. Outstanding stuff. Outstanding stuff there. Of course, other news stories today. Wigan documentary. We've seen the Leeds version. Wigan Warriors, the documentary starts this Wednesday at 10 o'clock. It runs for 3 nights running, charting their quadruple winning season. I, for one, knowing just how special a club Wigan are behind the scenes, this could give us a right good insight into why this club, both on and off the field, are a class act. Greg, will you be tuning in?
Definitely. Yeah. I think it's really, really good to go behind the scenes and see what goes on there. You get some insights sometimes. As a follower of the women's game, like I am, sometimes you get to go a little bit behind the scenes at that club, and they're superb in everything they do, professional in everything they do, and I hope it gets the audience it deserves.
Yeah, absolutely, couldn't agree more. I know that you enjoyed the Leeds one, Steph.
Yeah, I think I've been crying out for it as a Netflix-style documentary. I think if you look at all the big sports now, Drive to Survive in F1, all that kind of thing, they've all got Netflix documentaries. That's what attracts new fans because streaming platforms are the future. So yeah, anything like that, I think other clubs should start to adopt it. I've even seen Featherstone have done one. Started to do one this year as well in the Championship. So fair play to them for thinking outside the box on that one as well. But definitely more clubs should be getting on board with these behind the scene documentaries because the quality, we get to see what goes on behind the scenes with these clubs, and that's what's really appealing to people.
I mean, Joel, it's unlikely Huddersfield will be doing any one of these anytime soon. I mean, a documentary on how to only clean one stand is probably not going to be entertaining. However, only joking, mate. Only joking. Only kidding. But I have to say, I mean, it's surprising that Warrington and Burgess aren't doing one of these because with the pulling power that Sam's got, both in the northern and southern hemisphere, Warrington really should be doing something, shouldn't they?
Well, that's if Sam's allowed even to travel as far as Dublin.
He's on his way, mate. He's on his way. Don't worry. He's on his way.
Okay. It was a joke on the back of what you said, Dave.
Okay, carry on, sir.
Expect to get some belts back. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, great. I've totally forgot your question now.
Warrington and Sam Burgess do one, Joe.
Everyone stand.
Warrington Wolves and Sam Burgess.
Should they do one?
Absolutely, they should. Yeah, I think with what's happened from South Sydney coming over to coach in the UK, it's a fairy tale, isn't it? And can we give a yellow card to Declan Cahill, saying that the Guinness is not good in the UK? Clearly, you've not, sir, been to the Irish bar in Huddersfield, as these 3 lovely gentlemen can attest.
And you've never been to Liverpool St Helens either, sir.
Yeah, the barrels need to go quicker. That's the key. And don't get me wrong, I will concede the Guinness is better in Ireland. No doubt about that whatsoever. Outstanding stuff. Well done to Wigan. Really looking forward to seeing that. Now, last week on YouTube, some gentleman, forget the 2 hours of great entertainment that we provided. He was very disappointed that by all accounts I plugged the membership 47 times, and I was gutted because I was aiming for 50. I was too short. Anyway, not to worry. That's fine. So what I thought I'd do tonight is say, well, look, as you know, there's plenty of things that the members get that you don't see on Super League Raw Weekly. And one of those things is the brand new show on a Monday called Round Unpacked. It's great. We review all the games, all the tries and everything. So what I thought I'd do tonight is give you a glimpse of what those see behind the paywall. What this show allows us to do is really get into the detail. We can't do that on weekly. We've got 2 hours. So what we've done, we've added a couple of new shows this year, which for those rugby league purists out there who like statistics, who like to understand the nuances of the game, these 2 shows deliver that. So what I thought I'd do is give you a little bit of an insight into what you're missing with Round Unpacked. Sam Walters, we did say in pre-season when we were looking at Wigan, a man with a point to prove. He's got to be looking at Farrell. He's got no chance of dispatching Junior in December. We know that. So the best chance Sam Walters has got is to depose the captain, Liam Farrell. Great knock, 18 carries, 157 metres, 2 tackle busts in the game, did a nice offload during it as well. Didn't miss a tackle all game, to his credit, 100% efficiency on tackling. He can't do much more than that, can he? That's a really good effort from Sammy Walters.
This is why I was so disappointed in Salford. The errors, the completed sets, like you're saying there. It's for a home game when they had all the build up and a pretty decent crowd for Salford as well. I think it was like 5,500 there for this one, and then to deliver that and. The excuses are coming out, aren't they, about, it's the world against us kind of thing as well after the game. And I thought you should have put a line under the sun with that now. You should be happy. You said how long you've been saying you just want to play rugby. Well, you had your chance and you were terrible.
We're only 2 rounds in. And I know at the end of the season, one of the most memorable moments of this season will be Riley Lum under the high ball with Nene McDonald going like a freight train at him. And he just kept his eye on the ball, caught it, sidestep away. I mean, that was a thing of beauty from Riley Lum. But, I mean, I'll be honest with you, mate, I'd have been more inclined to go into reverse and go and sit in the crowd if I'd have saw anyone running at me like that.
Yeah, no, for a young lad, they showed it really, really good bravery, that. And I think on the day, he was fantastic. He didn't put a foot wrong.
Rewatching this game, the best fullbacks, they commit defenders on the inside. What I saw in this game was Gagai going too wide. He was, you've got a player with the quality of Adam Swift that if you give him space on the left, and for me, he was encroaching into that area, which means he was shutting the door for a 2-on-1 to create space. That for me is something. Go and rewatch it, guys. You'll see what I mean. For me, this. So there's your little taster into Round Unpacked. Like I say, very informative, very detailed. And throughout that there, for people who, of course, are listening to the podcast, I was putting a couple of the members' comments on with regards to that programme, being likened to the Super League show, but better is what some of our members are saying. Paul from over in Canada watched it just prior to tonight's show, and he said it was absolutely quality. So, maybe join for a month, see what you think. You can always cancel, but I don't think you will. So there you go. The QR code is in the top of the screen. Obviously, Greg and I'm sure Joe will be coming on that at some point during the season. But Steph, we're really enjoying doing that, aren't we?
Yeah, it just gives us that bit of analysis into the games and how they've gone, and really going into the detail of where we think the game's been won and lost, and what we pick up on as well. What probably some other shows don't cover. There's a couple examples there. I know we talked about watching inside line runners and things. So if you really like getting into the detail of the try scored, then this is definitely the show for you.
Yeah, and for new people, we had the pleasure of Emma's company at Warrington Wolves. She won some tickets at the weekend, and she said she's loving the fact that we get into that level of detail. And what we try and do is try and keep the jargon out of it as much as we can. We try and simplify it, make it easy to understand. So if you've just discovered Rugby League, or if you're a seasoned pro, it doesn't matter. You're going to love Round Unpacked. Believe me, great show, really fantastic. 7 days a week, Rugby League. Round Unpacked on a Monday, this on a Tuesday, Social Club on a Wednesday, Captain's Run on a Thursday, In the Sheds throughout the weekend, Final Whistle podcast. Wow, nobody does it like Super League Raw. Right, we now move on to one of our features, of course, for this season. Mr. Nixon, get ready, because it's that time once again for the Nixon Report.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Right. Okay. So this week I'm going to start the build up to the beginning of the start of the women's season, and I'm going to look at a couple of teams that I've been doing a lot to promote the women's game recently. Well, not recently, for quite a while now, and two teams I think that will give the others something to think about in the top flight this season, and they're the Lee Leopards and the Wigan Warriors. So, starting with those two because I think these two are going to make some waves in Women's Super League this season. We've made no secret of our admiration for the Leopards here at Super League Raw. Derek's a big friend of the show, but he's got to be applauded for the success of the marketing of the Leopards on and off the field. And he's extended that to the women's team as well. They went through the 2024 season undefeated. They won all 16 games. They scored an impressive 808 points along the way. Even more impressive than that one is the number of points conceded, just 64 points in the season. And then they beat Featherstone in the promotion playoff to get their place in Super League. Now, the head coach, Kieran Purtill, he's a former Wigan, Huddersfield and League player. Ex-Widnes coach as well, has blended quite a good team of youth and experience. And he's, hello, thank you for that. He's appointed new captain, Storm Cobain, who will lead the team. Really professional, I believe. She's a great player. So they've assembled a decent squad, a decent team, and they've also got the backing of Derek off the pitch as well. Derek invested in Lee Miners before they merged to form the Leopards a couple of years ago. They've had a game at the Lee Sports Village where they got the all singing, all dancing razzmatazz that Derek is well known for. And I think they'll do really well in Super League this year. They'll surprise a few teams. I'm probably going to give my predictions for finishes in a few weeks' time. But I think the Lee Leopards, I think they'll surprise a few teams. As for the Warriors, this week, well, just last week, they've announced the signing of another Australian player, Shania Power. She's a second rower from the North Queensland Cowboys. She's 27. She's a Maroon. She's also played for the Warriors, Titans and Roosters. And she's joining fellow Aussies Remy Wilton and Emily Vivers at the club. And that brings a lot of experience to the club and a lot of go forward. So it's what they're doing off the pitch, like the Leopards, that's impressive as well. They've invested, and not necessarily in the monetary sense, but they've invested a lot of time in making their women's team a success. They've unveiled plans to redevelop the old Edge Hall Road in Orrell, where the men used to train. They're going to share that with Wigan Athletic Women. So they're really investing in it. Warriors Chief Exec Chris Radlinski, that's not easy to say, has said the club is invested in making their women's team the best in Super League, appointing rugby league legend Dennis Betts as head coach is going to help that. And he's been instrumental in developing the kind of the coaching and the medical infrastructure of the team. So don't be surprised if Wigan break the stranglehold of Leeds, Saints and York at the top. I don't think this season will be the one that sees them win Super League. I think they probably need a few more years development yet, but don't be surprised if they get to Wembley, get to the Challenge Cup final this season. They again, like Lee, they're going to shock a few teams this season. Back to kind of developments away from that, York Valkyrie have strengthened their squad. They've signed Jamaican international Jazz Brampton from the Broncos, Demi Fisher from Barrow, and Izzy Bibby from she's joined from the Army, from Army Rugby League. That's all kind of to soften the blow from England international Lacey Owen, who's decided she's not going to play on this season. She's one of 9 players who's left the club this season, but they've moved on, I think, and they've also captured winger Tara Moxon from the Rhinos. And yeah, I think that we're in for a great season this season with the women. So come back next week for more kind of stories about what teams are going to be the movers and shakers in Women's Super League.
Outstanding stuff, mate. Absolutely outstanding. That's what we're talking about here on Super League Raw. Good effort there from Mr. Nixon, bringing you all the latest. All the latest. Greg Roach there, whilst Greg was talking, he loves Super League Raw because everything is in one place. Cheers for that, Greg. You're absolutely right. The website has been absolutely sensational for us this season. He's played a bit of drafts. It's been, fantastic. We've got Women's Rugby League. We're going to be dipping into the Championship. The website, of course, we don't do the clickbait. We just don't do it. If it's not a story, it's not a story. Our match reports, I challenge anybody to go and find a more thorough after game match report. It's got the press conferences there, the highlights, it's got in the sheds. Guys, just go to the website. It's all you need. That and the social media channels. Know when the programs are. We've got you covered. No doubt about it. We have got you covered this season. Great stuff, Mr. Nixon. Absolutely.
Just in response to Craig, the Challenge Cup kicks off in April.
April is the Challenge Cup. Absolutely fantastic. Brilliant stuff. I'm trying to think now what's next. I haven't got a clue what's next. This will tell me. No, it won't. That's what's next. This is what's next.
Capture the photo!
Yes, we had a week off, of course. Caption the photo, dearie me. What's all that about? We'll take that off. Didn't spoil it for the podcast anyway. But yes, we had Caption the photo on our social media channels last week. It was a great photo of JWH looking down on Willie Peters. It's a great photo. Go onto our social media sites and then you'll know what we're talking about, those who are listening on the podcast. And yet again, you've absolutely nailed it, folks. We got some brilliant. We can't go through them all. It's like the photos. We've got, if you're wondering where your photos were on the opening credits, if once they've gone on the credits, they get deleted. The rest stay in the pot. So eventually we'll get to you, I'm sure. But keep them coming in. It's lovely to share your photos. And this has been a really good addition. We had a week off last week. We're back this week. We captioned the photo. So let's see what we've got. First things first, let's go to Stephen Broomfield. Stephen said, "Did you spill me pint?" Which, let's be fair, if you'd spilled JWH's pint, you would be looking like Willie Peters in that particular photograph. I would not want to do that to JWH. Tony Pennington, another Super League Raw member, he had a crack as well. He said, "You promised me 30 degrees sun and golden sand beaches, not posing for photos in this kind of weather." Absolutely. I'm sure JWH is loving the climate up there in Kingston upon Hull. Next up is Andy Benn. I'm being a bit cheeky, is Andy, I have to say. He said, "I've been a good boy for 2 games, boss. Can I now get a card?" Which, yeah, okay. I sort of see that as well. This is a belter. Talk about, a little bit of love between the rivals in the city. "Hey, boss, I'm new in town. Can you tell me where Brad Fash gets his haircut?" Now, I like that a lot. That's Brogan's Rory. Great effort, Brogan. You were just outside the top 3. Let's get into the top 3. First of all, Rich H. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm hoping that he's being a bit clean when he says this, but he's bordering, but it's very, very good. "No, Javid, you're too big to sit on Uncle Willie's lap." Now, that is a very, very good line. I do like that very much. Right, Paul Leafbridge. Paul, this is a belter. Love it, mate. You're second this week with this one. "Don't do it, Jared. I'll get stuck in your throat." Comedy gold from Paul there. Good effort, mate. Absolutely loving that. And then the winner this week, and I have to say, I had tears. I've got tears in my eyes. I've not even read it out on the show. When I read this, I had tears in my eyes. This is comedy of the highest quality from another member, Fraser Howard. Take a bow, Fraser, lad. Here it comes. "No one told me the borrowers were real." Absolute gem. Oh, mate, that is a great line. More captions will come throughout the season. We won't be doing them every week. We're trying to mix it up every week for you. You never know what we're going to do, but when we saw that photo, we thought you could have a bit of fun with it, and by God, did you have some fun with it. Brilliant stuff. Well done to everybody who got involved. When you see a caption on our social media, get on it. You might get a shout out here on Super League Raw. Right, we now come to the part of the show that gets Greg Roach tuning in every week. Yes, there's others out there that do teams of the week, but nobody does it like Super League Raw. Team of the Week is sponsored by The Good Estate Agent. With an average turnaround time of 3 weeks, if you want your house sold quickly, then contact Stefan today on 01942 356 577. Quote Super League Raw for 33% off. It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week with the Good Estate Agent for 2025. Here we go again. And at 1, picking up where he left off in 2024, is Matt Duffy. He set the souls of the White Faithful on fire. Can he produce another vintage season in 2025? Who knows? On the wing is Lewis Martin of Hull FC. He's got a whole lot of running and he's ready to burn this season. Will his try-scoring stakes get higher? We will have to wait and see. In centre and on debut in Super League Raw's Team of the Week is... Yeah, we're having a mare. We're having a mare this week. We are having an absolute mare. Don't know what's happened there. That's last week's. This happened last week. Bizarre. But you know what? It's worth the wait. It's absolutely worth the wait. So we're going to get that.
I'm sure Jack Wellesby was crushed.
I'm sure he was. I'm sure Jack Wellesby was crushed. You're quite right. So whilst I don't know what has happened there. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. Right, let's go and find it. We have got this week somewhere, so I just need to go and find it now. So I won't be a moment while I do that. But anyway, anything else that has crossed your minds in terms of talking about why I quickly find this one?
Going back to the women's, the Australian women have named a very, very strong side for that game at Vegas.
Yeah, saw that.
Very, very strong side. So, if you want to see the best of Australian women rugby league, that game will be worth watching. It really will. And I hope that the English girls put up a good performance. What a challenge for those girls to come up against the best that Australia can throw at them.
Well, we have a new member. That's something worth talking about. John Wall. John Wall is a 6 again member. He'll be watching the Captain's Run on Thursday. He'll be watching Round Unpacked on Monday. Welcome to the community, John. Great to have you with us. Let's just see who John supports. Let's just see who he's putting his as his team whilst we're just waiting for this to finish off. And I'm pleased to say he is another Hull KR fan. We are attracting a lot of Hull KR fans at the moment. It has to be said. Great to have John on board, gentlemen. He'll be enjoying those programs this week.
Dawn's put the Cam Smith injury in the chat as well. That's a big blow.
Yeah, in fact, let's go there. There's a lot of injuries. Frankie Alton's been announced this week. Obviously, we've got Cameron Smith's out. Luckily, Mikey Lewis not as bad as first feared. But yeah, there does seem to be a lot of quality talent going down, doesn't there, very early on this season?
Yeah. I mean, Cam Smith, the Leeds fans were critical of him last season, but season before, he was probably next to Minchella, the best number 13 in the comp. I thought we all thought that.
Yeah.
But yeah, early doors, if you're going to get an injury, then early doors is the best time to get it as far as I'm concerned. You don't want to be getting it towards the end. We saw with Saints last season, their injury list hampered them and they were just getting back together when they got to the playoff semi-finals, but it was just too little too late for them. So, if you're going to get an injury, then I suppose now's the time to get one.
Now is the time to get one. Right, hopefully this is the right team of the week. Let's give it a go. It's sponsored by The Good Estate Agent. With an average turnaround time of 3 weeks, if you want your house sold quickly, then contact Stefan today on 01942 356 577. Quote Super League Raw for 33% off. It's the Super League Raw Team of the Week for round number 2 with the Good Estate Agent 2025. Here we go again at fullback. Keeping out Dryfield and David Armstrong is Jack Wellesby, who was tearing a strip or two off the opposition. As near a perfect fullback performance as you're likely to see. At 2 was the fearless golden nugget himself, Riley Lum. A brilliant brace and see you later to Nene McDonald showed that this 20-year-old will not fold his hand. At 3 was the brilliant Oliver Pratt with some incredible straight runs a superb individual try, you could say this was a full house of an attacking demonstration at Craven Park. At 4 is the Saint sensation, Harry Robertson. Just like the Bellagio fountains, he demonstrated perfect synchronicity, impeccable timing, and was a feast for the eyes. Who knows, he may even walk on water. At 5 is Liam Marshall. Last year's try scorer became try maker at Club Tropicana. Drinks are free. Well, Liam provided some free 4-pointers for his teammates at the MKM. Fun and sunshine, there's enough for everyone. At 6, just before George left on a jet plane for Vegas, he produced a masterclass at the place where he belongs. 3 of a kind is often enough to take the pot, and George had the lot on Friday against the Dragons. At 7 is Mikey Lewis, who may have folded with injury, but not before lighting up Craven Park with a standard Lewis try that proved decisive against Trinity. Get well soon, Mikey. Super League needs. At 8 is Big Alex Walmsley. The legend deserves to be sat on a throne at Caesar's Palace, such as his contribution to the Vet V on Saturday. He showed once again why Super League is his yard. At 9, keeping his place week on week is Danny Walker. If ever there was a mirage at 9 thus far this season, it's Danny Walker. Forget nuts, he's going to be a hard rock to crack this season. At 10 is Oliver Wilson, who run hard and true, knocking the Leopards down like a pack of cards, one by one on Sunday. Wilson showed some real character that may have critics looking again at his credentials for the starting prop role. At 11, start spreading the news. He is so part of it. The word is getting to New York, New York. Never mind a city that never sleeps. If you have to play Junior in December in Vegas, you would have insomnia. At 12, keeping out Dan Russell of the White Wolves is Ethan O'Neill of the Lee Leopards. Never underestimate the newcomer, as this man is no bluff. It may be tough to fill Kai O'Donnell's boots, but Ethan has slipped into Super League as easy as a pair of fluffy slippers. And finally, at 13 is Elliot Minchella, the leader of the Robins pack. He continues to be the royal flush of 13s in Super League. He can play in all 4 seasons and makes it look as easy as drifting down the Venetian stream on a gondola. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your team of the week for round number 2. We got there eventually. The team of the week for round number 2. There it is in all of its splendour. Right, let's go through it. Greg, it's very hard to disagree with that, surely.
It is. As you said, I thought Dan Norman had a great game, but unlucky to miss out. I thought, but you know that's a great team. Dan Russell. I always call him Dan Norman.
It's not Dan Norman.
Russell.
He's retired, Dan Norman.
I know. Why do I always call it that? Dan Russell. I'm gonna have to get that in my head. Dan Russell. I thought he had a great game, but yes, you can't argue with that.
No. Ethan O'Neill in our team of the week for the first time on debut in our team of the week and fully deserving.
Yeah, he's made a great start to his life at Lee, and obviously that really difficult position to step into Kai O'Donnell's boots. I think he's done fantastic, and he's just going to get better and better. So really good signs from him. I think the only one who I think is really unlucky not to get in this week is Jai Field. Obviously getting a hat trick there at Hull FC, but what a performance by Wellesby to keep him out.
Right, Wellesby. Well, Wellesby had to be.
Yeah.
Tackle bust, 4 assists, a try, 45 carries, 244 meters. I mean, yeah, Jai Field on any other week is just tiptoeing into it, but Wellesby was different gravy this week. He really, really was. Joel, your thoughts on team of the week, mate?
Yeah, it was a very tough pick because there was a lot of players that could have possibly made that team there. But I think, you can't really argue with any of it. I've got to say, it shows the quality of Lewis. The fact that, he was injured, but he still put on a show. And even though he stayed on the field a little while, he was happy. He wanted to carry on playing. And that's the heart and desire that you want from your players.
Yeah, I mean, Lewis, for me, I know Harry Smith, I think, got the official one, and Smith was decent, don't get me wrong, but I think, what Lewis showed in this game is he's a match winner. The Wigan one was a cakewalk, absolute cakewalk. Without Mikey Lewis, Hull KR probably don't win that game, probably struggle to win game 1. And that's why I think KR will be very relieved today with the news that he's going to be back because, Mikey Lewis, love him or hate him, is a winner. and he's that little bit of that little sprinkle of gold that every team wants to have. Don't all come in at once.
No, you're right.
Every team wants to have one, don't they?
Yeah.
Every team needs to have a Mikey Lewis, in there, and it's good. It's great for the game. But what we've got to do is we've got to try and keep hold of them and not let them always go to the NRL. And that's been the historic issue. But the good thing is here. He's got the number 7 shirt, and he's loving life.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Incredible. I mean, it might come as a surprise that Ollie Wilson's in there. I know the official one went the way of Ignatius Parsi. And don't get me wrong, I thought, again, Parsi, great try from Parsi. And actually, Ignatius doesn't get over 100 metres that often, but he did in this 147. So don't get me wrong, Parsi was right there in contention. But I thought Oliver Wilson, I mean, this is a lad that has been given the 8 shirt at Huddersfield this season. I don't think anybody really I say this with the greatest of respect. Nobody fears Oliver Wilson. They don't. He's not got that standing in the game at the moment. He hasn't got the standing of a Walmsley, a Vaughan, a JWH, dare I say Herman SASA. And Huddersfield have put him at 8. They've given him his head this year. And he was absolutely brilliant at the weekend. Brilliant. Not only the way he took his try, but his all-round game. And that is, again, what makes us different to Super League Raw. It's too easy to give Ignatius Parsi and Walmsley both front row spots when they're playing Castleford. It's easy to do that. Ollie Wilson came up against a tough Lee Leopard side, a pack to be feared, the likes of Robbie Mulhern in there, going toe-to-toe, who has been phenomenal for 2 seasons for the Lee Leopards, and he held his own. So for me, that was worthy of that spot straight away. But Bazza Kingston in the chat asking about Tom Davis. Yeah, Tom, he scored a try. He did his usual meters out of backfield. But, Liam Marshall, the assisting, his all-round running, his all-round game. Marshall, for me, just about edged that one. But again, was Davis in contention? Yes, he was. Yeah, he was definitely in the thought process in this week's team league. And in terms of fullback, like I say, in any other week, Field is in there. Duffy was good again. Armstrong was good. Yeah. So it's just that is going to be
Armstrong one day
a hard position to nail down this year. Go on.
Just on Armstrong. Yes, he did show glimpses, and he made a fantastic try and a great break for testing news try. But he also knocked on twice in this game. If you look at Wellesby's performance and you look at Jai Field's performance, Armstrong's still got a bit of a way to go yet. But
Steph, if I may, as a man who's a proud be the roarer down there, let's not take into account the conditions at Lee.
Yes,
Be a bit harsh.
But when you look at I get why they're saying it, and I think Armstrong's going to be a fantastic player for Lee, but there was a couple of silly errors in there that still needed to. When you're talking about player of the week, they need to be pretty much perfect, and he did have a couple of mistakes in this game.
Well, if we're going to talk about mistakes, let's talk about the Albert Goalthorpe. Ladies and gentlemen.
I knew where that was going.
Well, and it wasn't rehearsed either. But ladies and gentlemen, you all know that we love to dip into the Albert Goalthorpe Award. And this year, we thought we'd give it its own new segment. And it looks a little bit like this. Time for the wife to debut.
Ooh, pass me a cucumber sandwich.
Yes, it's time to pass the cucumber sandwiches, because that's what some of the journalists do. They eat far too many cucumber sandwiches and they don't watch the game of rugby league from the press box. We just call it out for what it is, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to have a little bit of fun with our friends over there at League Express for a moment. If you don't mind me doing that, let's have a bit of sport. So where are we going to start first? Let's start should we start at Leeds? Let's start at Leeds. So here we go, gentlemen. Here we go. Riley Lum, nil point.
Davey.
Those prawn sandwiches in Headingley, different class. Different class. I mean, it actually weren't Headingley, was it? It was Salford. No. I'll tell you what, fair play to the Salford catering staff. I believe they got new caterers in this season. They went down an absolute storm. No Riley Lum. Palacia and Hanley were preferred to Riley Lum. Can you believe that?
No. I think they had too many sausage rolls.
No, Hanley had a good game, but he wasn't in the same level as Lum.
I tell you. It does make me worry. It really, really does. Of course, in a week's time, the Super League Draw Trophy is back. We know how to do proper awards here at Super League Raw, but yeah, no Riley Love. Let's go to Warrington. Warrington, Cesar Rouge and Geordie Crowell. Crowell had a decent game, don't get me wrong, but he weren't in the top three. Cesar Rouge, well, they were preferred to Duffy and Dan Russell, just to name two. Did anybody see Cesar Rouge have a better game than Matt Duffy?
I thought Rouge had a decent game.
But was he better than Duffy?
I thought
No.
Morg and Da Costa had better games than Rouge for the Catalan.
Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, it really is. It's frightening. I mean, the stony silence in the chat. People can't type for laughing. They're absolutely in hysterics at home. They can't believe what they're hearing. Unbelievable. Whoever the journalist was at the Wigan game, take a bow, because whoever that was, they were watching. No issues whatsoever. Their top three: Field, Ensemba, and Thompson. French a bit unlucky, but don't get me wrong. I've got no argument with that. That's fine. I can live with that. Right, here we go. Hold your beer steady, boys. This just in. Saints against Castleford. No Harry Robertson. Oh, you just couldn't write it, could you?
Well, they do write it. That's the frightening thing.
Parsi and Walmsley got in over Robertson. Don't worry, Ron. They both had good games, Parsi and Walmsley, but come on. The young lad.
They did pick Wellesby.
They picked Wellesby, but come on, they're 20-year-old. I mean,
he's been great. At centre, he's been great.
He's been a revelation at centre, hasn't
revelation. That try where he cut back in on the inside. Beautiful. Anyway, but no, not good enough. Not good. Anyway, let's go to Lee. Let's go to the Lee Sports Village.
Does it get better?
Yeah. Lachlan Lamb, Steph. No points for O'Neill. Lachlan Lamb. I mean, O'Brien was better. I won't mind. His halfback partner was better on the day.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
He must have got too much into the greatest show at Lee. He must have been too excited with the build-up.
I was so low. And do you know what? If they're getting,
I'm surprised Hugh Jackman didn't get it, to be honest.
Mate, I'm not being funny, but we are a bit disrupting here. But in rugby league circles, we want our game to be on a pedestal. We want it to be called right. We want it to be called fair. I'm sorry, but get it right. Because as I've already said about the Wigan game, no issues. And I'll say about the Wakey game, no issues. Oliver Pratt, Mikey Lewis, Max Jowett, no issue with that.
Mm.
No issue with that at all. But I'm sorry, but Lachlan Lamb, no Harry Robertson, no Riley Lum.
Did Derek Beaumont not get 3 points for his ringmaster outfit?
Honestly, God. As Bazza says, shots fired, mate. They can come and shoot shots our way all they want, Chief. I'm very, very comfortable in this chair. Don't you worry about that. Unbelievable. So anyway, there you go. New feature. New feature this year. The wife now getting involved. Pass the cucumber sandwich for those journalists who prefer to have a cucumber on a bit of bread than watch the great game of rugby league. So beware. We said last week, give your head a wobble. Be very careful. Super League are watching. Be very, very careful as well. If you're going to do some 3-2-1s in some publications, Super League Raw is watching. We will hold you to account. And you know what? After all that, dare I say, grubby nature, a little bit of grub on our behalf, let's get romantic. Let's get a little bit.
This is Joel Scholes with your Fantasy League update. Let's see who the movers and shakers are for this week.
Well, hello, and welcome back to the Fantasy League update. We're going to have a look at the top performers for this week under the Fantasy League. So, at fullback, I think it's no surprise Jack Wellesby coming in there with a mighty 144 points. So, if you've had Wellesby as your fullback, you've done really well this week. Well done. The two wingers, we've got Kotrick and Davis. 55 points for Davis, 74 for Kotrick. In the centres, good points for centres this week. If you've got Laguerre Watkins in there, 77 and 74 points. Some big numbers. It seems to be even bigger than last year, these already, and we're quite early on in the season. And then you look at your two halfbacks. You've got Mikey Lewis with 65 points. Once again, no surprise there. And Mr. Lomax with 61. Then moving up forward into your loose forward position, Elliot Minchella. You can never go wrong with a bit of Mr. Lemoncello. 65 points there. Well done. Then we look at our two second rowers. We've got Wagner and Russell, both in 58 points. And then we move to the props. Now, this is a good one that we all love here at Super League Raw. We love our props. Alex Walmsley, big Alex Walmsley at 77 points. And then we look at the Mr. Mike McMeekin, 70 points. Not everyone's super impressed with McMeekin at the moment, but man, he's getting his points in. He's putting a shift in. And surprisingly, and very happily for me, at hooker, Mr. Zach Wolford, really showing his class in his first stint at Super League. So if you've got any of them players in your team, massive well done. You've got some big points there. Now we're going to have a look at the overall lead, the who are in top three. Now, unfortunately, once again, those who are in the top three have not got not one and not two hands on the ticket, the shirt, or the merch. So a season ticket, that's what you're getting if you win. So Trish, you're at top spot. You need to become a member if you want to win your season ticket for next year. Surely that's worth the membership there alone. It'll be cheaper than your season ticket, that's for sure. So please, think about that for your Saints ticket, especially. You're in top spot there, and you need to become members if you want to win these prizes. So please, everyone, think about the Super League Raw membership. So, as we've said, at top, we've got Trish Scott. And then we've got in second, we've got Terry Moon. In third, we've got Chris Partington. In fourth, Steve Broomfield, a Leopards fan. In fifth, David Moore, Hull KR fan. In sixth, Oliver Deering, Hull KR fan. In seventh, Alan Bagley, a Warrington fan. And Alan Bagley again in eighth, who was also a Warrington fan. Then we've got Stuart Scaife, who's been in this top 10, 2 weeks now running. In ninth, and in 10th, Michael Reeve, a Trinity fan. So that is your top 10 for this week, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Well done, Mr. Scholes. Fantastic stuff, mate. Well done indeed. Right, okie dokie. Joel said it there. You've got to be a member to win the prizes. You've got to be a member. Don't do the QR code now. Top prize, your season ticket up to the value of £300 next year. Who's doing that for you? Yeah, you can go and buy a magazine if you want, or you can come and have all this joy for 7 days and get the opportunity to go into Club Wembley, get the opportunity to go into grand finals, get the opportunity of winning your season ticket. Wow. And also contribute to looking after people like young Alfie, because that's where the money goes back into the game. Young Alfie's going to the Challenge Cup final. That won't be possible without our members. So all the members tonight who are watching, pat yourselves on the back. Without you, young Alfie's not going to the Challenge Cup. And I know that'll mean a lot to you this evening, as it means a lot to us. So very well done to him. But yeah, season ticket for prize one,
also
round two, and a Super League Raw hoodie for third place. Joel?
And on the back of that, as Mr. Roach did in the comments, yes, I can see your comments there, my friend. As I am sporting, they come in all sizes. So yes, that's okay. They do my size too.
Joel proudly wearing his.
He's not a turkey special, this one.
Absolutely. The Giant Tour t-shirt. Yeah, get over to our website. We actually do like concert tour tickets for each team, tour t-shirts for each team with all your away fixtures on the back. Joel is proudly wearing his Huddersfield one there. Joel, fantastic stuff. Of course, we're going to keep everybody right on top of the Fantasy League. Don't forget, you've got till midday on a Thursday now. It used to be a Wednesday. Till midday on a Thursday to change your teams. You are going to get 4 new transfers in March. That won't be this week. You've got whatever you've got left this, but next week it resets. You get another 4 transfers in the Fantasy League. Keep your eye on that. And where's Ryan Birch? Where's Ryan Birch? There's a question.
He maybe
He was at the Sports Village. He was at the Sports Village on Sunday.
Where was he? Well, he's not. I mean, don't get me wrong. Ryan's had a bath, hasn't he, the last couple of years with the Fantasy League. He's not doing as well this year. Anyway, now let's get into the Prediction League. The runners and the riders in the Prediction League. We have a new leader, and that new leader is Steph. Steph on the week, 24 points from Steph, 21 for the members and Greg. Joel got 20, and then myself, Earl, and the non-members got 18. So that is how it is shaping up. As you can see there, Steph really benefiting from the right score, right team. The way this works, ladies and gentlemen, is that you get 2 points if you get the right team, and you get 5 points if you get the right margin and the right team. Every Sunday night, non-members, every Sunday night on our website, the votes open. It's a multiple choice. It'll take you literally a minute to do. Get involved. At the moment, the non-members, they are sitting there in 5th place. The members, of course, they do that through the groups, through the group chat in their membership area. That's where yours are. And again, that goes live 7 o'clock every Sunday for you to cast your votes. So there you go. Make sure you get involved in this. But Steph, congratulations, sir.
Thank you. It's after last year's dismal performance, I think I'm going to pull out "Stop the season now."
It's always been a classic. Stop the season now. But yeah, no, very, very well done, mate. Very, very well done. 24 points on the week, just too shy of a full house. That'd have been amazing. We've never ever had 6 ever in all the years we've been doing this. We've never had a week where it's been predicted all 6 right team, right margin. So will it happen this year? Who knows? Will it happen in round 3? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But hopefully you're enjoying tonight's entertainment. We're doing well for time as well, so we may have a chance for some questions later. If you have got a question, store it up and post it when I ask you to. That way we don't have to go and scroll through the chat. So I mean, get your thinking caps on now, and then let us know. Okay, right, okie dokie. I can see that Paul there in the chat. Give us a call, Paul. We'll see how we can do that. But yeah, not a problem. Ryan Birch is biting back. It's a long season, Dave. That's all he's got to say. So Ryan is still confident that he could win that season ticket for the second year in a row, of course. Every time he goes to the Giants, he's reminded of Super League Raw because we, of course, paid for that season ticket this season. Well done to him. Right, here we go. Round number 3. We're already at predictions. This is fantastic. We've got a bit of time. We've got a bit more time than normal to have a little discussion around these predictions. So let's start with game number 1. This is on Thursday night, live on Sky Sports at 8 o'clock. Of course, it'll come on at 7:30. Don't forget, Captain's Run from 6. So again, if you're a member of Super League Raw, 6 o'clock, Captain's Run. That'll finish just after 7. You've then got about 25 minutes to wait for Sky's presentation to come on. Then the build up to the live games. It's a full night of rugby league if you're a Super League Raw member. So don't forget the Captain's Run, 6 o'clock this Thursday. Right, lads, here we go. Hull KR against the Salford Red Devils. Hull KR 2 from 2. Salford 2 losses in the last 2 games. We have got the squads, so we'll put them on because, of course, we always get the squads for the Thursday night game. And as you, no surprise, no Mikey Lewis, but Tyrone May is in the squad for KR. So that's a bonus for KR. Whether he's fully fit or not, don't know, but he is there. Joe Shorrocks, of course, he's suspended. Logan Lewis is still out as well. So too Joe Mellor, Sam Davies, and Sam Stone. So a lot of players out still. Salford, certainly first team, as Joe Mellor last year was incredible, really good. For Salford was Joe. He had a good season. Sam Stone, I think we've all got a lot of time and respect for Sam Stone as well. So a few injuries, not in form, very poor last weekend against Leeds. Let's have a chat first and foremost. Greg, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
Not got off to the start any of us would have expected. What have you made of KR up to now?
KR have been kind of it's that grand final hangover. There are a lot of teams that get to the grand final and get beat. You can go back through kind of the last few years. Castleford, Hull, Warrington have got to the grand final. Other teams as well, Catalan, and the season after they've kind of struggled to get into the straps. And the Hull KR, Castleford would have been up for that first game. And that was no surprise that was a close game. But I think Hull KR, without Mikey Lewis, I think Jez Litton showed a lot of good touches and good running on last week in the game. And I think. Do you want me to give me my prediction?
No, we'll hang fire on the prediction.
I think KR have looked a little bit rusty, but I think it's that grand final defeat hangover that a lot of teams have. Salford, on the other hand, will be desperate to win this. They had a shocker in round one for obvious reasons. I expected more of them, especially when they took the lead against Leeds at the weekend. I thought, this they could win this, but I think they're still they've got a hangover of a different kind. I think they're still kind of reeling from the decisions that have gone against them and the situation around the club.
Yeah. Bazza Kingston in the chat saying he thought Willie Peters spoke well in his press conference today. That is available on Hull KR's YouTube channel. Well worth going and having a watch of that. Joel, it started really well for Salford on it was Saturday, wasn't it? And then the wheels came off. In the same way that we saw a reaction from Castleford at Hull KR, are we about to see a reaction from Salford at the same ground?
You would hope so, because if not, then something's quite wrong there. Because I think we all said, didn't we, that Salford have improved on the squad this year. When you look at some of the signings that have been made, they've got a real depth. We all know that when you've got a lot of new signings, it takes time to click. But some of these players that are there are real seasoned players and top quality. So you'd hope that you would see a bounce back. And if not, then some questions need to be asked, because still there's a lot of the players from last year there who we know how to put a number on someone. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game to watch, this one.
Yeah, I mean, Paul in the chat, of course, talking there about Chris Hill, Steph, looks heavier. I thought Chris looked a lot heavier. Is that a concern?
We know Chris is what a career he's had for a kickoff. England international. I think when players start to get towards he's coming to the last few seasons of what he's potentially going to be able to do, and I think the way Salford have to treat Chris is just to spell him, use him for less minutes, and come on as a bit of an impact forward. But yeah, I think he's more there for his leadership than anything else. Chris, I think I'm surprised they've named Joe Shorrocks in the team there.
He's definitely out.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, he's definitely out.
Yeah,
to my knowledge, he's definitely out anyway.
Yeah. Well, unless they're appealing it, I don't know.
They've appealed it and he got an extra game.
Oh, there you go. He's definitely not.
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, in this one, I think I'm going to give KR a bit of credit here, because after the season they had last season, they are now one of the marked teams in Super League. You're same as your Wigan, your Saints, your Warringtons, the real big clubs. And Castleford and Wakefield have upped their game 100% to play Hull KR. We saw that with the difference in Castleford's performance this week. So I don't think Hull KR played particularly badly. We're just judging them on where they were last season. But obviously, teams need to get to the straps, and they're still winning. And I'll not come to my prediction, but I think Hull KR are doing what they need to do to win at the moment, and they're going to get better and better as the season goes on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think KR will improve steadily, and they have made a few key changes. Of course, Ryan Hall not there this season. We know that. JWH is coming in the front row. All good quality additions. Mickey McAlorum, has come in as well. I want to see Leyland. I really want to see Leyland. I just hope and pray that we see Bill Leyland, because I think he's a special talent, and people will be, hopefully, having watched our show, be intrigued by Bill Leyland if you haven't seen him play. This, for me, an opportunity to bud that young man, and I think he has got a massive, massive future in this game. So I really hope that we see him.
It's a great point, Dave, and I think for me, if you ask me where they're actually, yes, you're right to point out losing Rahul. I think the biggest miss for Hull KR in their go forward has been Parcell.
Mate, there's certain players who are very, very difficult to replace, and Matty Parcell's one of them. Matty Parcell was let's be fair, he was caviar, wasn't he? Let's just say it as it is. The man was caviar. If it was James Bond, he'd be ordering a Dom Perignon 53 to go with it. That was Matty Parcell. Absolute quality. We loved him here at Super League Raw. And Matty, I hope you're enjoying yourself, sir, wherever you are. But yes, I mean, look, this for me is an intriguing game. Salford for me need a reaction. KR at the moment, not firing like we'd expect them to, but at any point they could catch a light. That said, they're going to have to do this without Mikey. So that's got to be a factor in there. But it does open up the door for the likes of Richardson, who had a great game against Warrington at the John Smiths in the first round. It's going to be very interesting to see what Willie Peters does in those halves. But I think everybody would expect Petter Hiku to slot back in at centre. I don't see him back in the halves. Does anybody see Hiku in the halves in this one?
No.
I didn't think so either. Right, okay. So back to you then, Reggie. Let's go through the L prediction. What are you saying?
I'm going for KR 18 plus. I think talk about Parcell. I thought Jez Litton showed touches of a Parcell type performance the other night, so I'm going to go KR 18 plus.
Well, Dawn Baker's pulling splinters out of her bum. She's gone 1-4 either way. She can't make her mind up.
1-4?
1-4. That's a new one on me. Obviously, her finger slipped as she was taking care of those splinters. Steph, well, before we come to Steph, let's have a quick look in the where have we got members. Members are going KR 9-17. Non-members are going KR 9-17. What say you, Steph?
They're very wise. I'm going 9-17 KR as well.
You're going along with them for the ride, yeah? Also in the chat tonight, let's have a quick look, see who else is having a little go live during the show. There's some in there, surely. I tell you what, I'm scrolling a lot here. There was some, and I've lost them. I don't know where they are. So while I'm finding them, Joel, your old mate Earl, he's gone KR 9-17 as well. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm not as convinced. I know KR have been winning, but they've not been winning as convincingly as we all thought. So for me, jury's out. I know I'm at the bottom of the pile, but I wasn't last year. So, I think I've got a prediction in there. I'm going KR 1-8 because I think I need to be a bit more careful with my predictions. I'm just not seeing enough from them at the moment. And until they've got a definite spine in there while Mikey's out, we just need to see them combinations going, and we won't see that in this game, I don't imagine. So I'm going 1-8, but I'm happy to be wrong.
Fair enough. Right, I've now found them. So, yeah, Ryan Birch, 9-17. KR, Dawn Kirkby, KR by 3. Aidan Simpson, KR 9-17. Rob Igson, the same. Craig Forth, 1-8. KR. Fraser Howard, Salford, 1-8. I think I saw somebody else go Salford 1-8 as well in the chat as well. So a little bit of love for Salford in there, but in the main, everybody going the way of Hull KR. I am going to throw an absolute grenade. I'm going to go Salford 1-8. I think there's going to be a reaction. I really, really do. I could be wrong. Like I say, KR could catch fire at any point, but with Mikey gone, he's won them the last two. That's the reality. It's the genius that is Mikey Lewis that has gotten the first 4 points. He's done it when it's counted. He's not there for this one. I expect there's going to be some sort of reaction from Salford, and they're capable. They're very, very capable if they click of going to KR and getting the win. So I'm going to show a bit of love for Salford. And also, why not? It's early in the season. I can always catch it up, can't I? Let's have a bit of sport. Let's do it. And Bazza is saying, no, it's all right, Bazza, mate. Don't worry about it. It's normally Greg that you worry about predictions.
He is worried about me, but Dave, if Salford win this 1-8, I want next week's lottery numbers.
Fair enough. No drama. No drama. I thought it was going to be a bit more grand than that. But anyway, I thought actually we were going to do me. I thought I was going to get a point then for a minute, but obviously not. Right, okay, let's move on then. So good chat. Right, now we come to this one. This for me, ladies and gentlemen, this is quality fair. This is you might not think it, but trust me, Huddersfield against Hull FC. This is going to be a belter because both of these will look at this fixture and think, this is the type of fixture we have to win this season. We're talking here, lower half of the division going head to head. I think everybody had these two in the bottom 6 this season. Both of them will want to finish higher than the other. This is going to be a little belter. I really do believe this has got everything in its locker to be sensational. Harry Rushton, friend of the show, should return. Tame Milne is in the country, I'm led to believe. Joel brings up to speed with that this week. Whether he plays or not, I think they're judging his fitness before they make any judgment on that. Sam Halsall out, of course, till March. Liam Sutcliffe, he's not back until at least round 5. We're hearing Adam Clune, of course, is still out. And George King, we know he's out until March. So still, when you think they're all of them, everybody I've just mentioned are starting 17 players for Huddersfield. They are, every one of them. Rushton, Milne, Halsall, Sutcliffe, Clune and King. All of them will be in a starting 17, if fit. No doubt about it. So let's not lose sight of that. Then we turn the page and we look at Hull FC. Liggy South, of course, out for the season, and our very best wishes go to Liggy. Real shame for any player to go out this quickly in the season. We wish him all the best in his recovery. Zach Hardacre out for a month with a groin strain. That's a blow because he's been in good form as Zach Hardacre. Jed Cartwright, he's done his hamstring as well. No Ollie Holmes, Jack Charles out, Matty Laidlaw out. They're missing as well, and David Litton's not out until April. No mention of Logan Moy, which could only suggest he is fit. So the best fullback in Super League is currently not being played at Hull FC. That's interesting. Good evening, Mr. Judson. We hope you're well. So anyway, let's just a little members.
Asiata's out as well.
Is Asiata out? I've not seen that. Is Asiata out as well?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Hey, you'd have thought that. Wow. Anyway, not to worry. Right. So Huddersfield Giants taking on Hull FC. Steph, I will start with you. I started with Reggie last time, so I'll start with you this time. Do you agree with me? This could be a little bell to this one.
I'm gutted. This is the same time Leah playing Catalan because I'd have loved to have watched this live. And I don't know, it's because it'll be on Sky Plus, won't it? On the Sky.
Yeah,
they won't be able to record it, which is rubbish. But anyway, that's another story. I'm gutted because I think it's going to be, like you say, two teams who will have ring fenced this fixture, both for different reasons. As one where they think they can win the 2 points. So I think it's going to be an absolute bell ringer, this one. I think both teams are going to go at each other. It's going to be it's a tough one to call, isn't it? Real tough one. It could go either way, this. But I've seen Huddersfield in the flesh now, and I did like what I saw from Huddersfield, despite all those players they've got out the game at the weekend. I thought they were, especially the first half, they were probably the better side against Lee, particularly in the forwards, where I think that's where they have still got quality core of players they're playing. And I think potentially that might just be enough to get them over the line, but I'll not give you my prediction just yet.
Albeit you now know where you're going. Joel, inside track, like I say, all of those players we mentioned will be in your starting 17. Do you expect Milne to play?
No. I'll be, at best, he'll be back in beginning of March. So you're looking at the very earliest, and I mean very earliest, round 4, but I think it's going to be more like round 5, round 6, because he only touches down, I think it's tomorrow morning. So, he's no jet lag. He's certainly not playing this week, that's for sure. He's got to get assessed on his knee. He's been doing a lot of rehab, but until the doctors get the all clear look, he's just not going to risk him because he's too good of a player for us. So I'm going to say comfortably round 5 we'll see him. If it's before that, it's just wonderful news.
I want to get your take on it. I mean, Steph talked about it in Round Unpacked. I mean, I was talking about Gagai in terms of his game smarts at fullback, shutting down the left edge. He was overshooting his runs to the point where it was making it impossible to get the ball out to Swift. And we'd all agree that Swift is your most potent weapon. Did you see it the same way? Is that something that's concerning you at the moment? The fact that Gagai at the moment doesn't appear to be standing up his markers to the point where they can shift it out to Swift in with free field ahead of him?
Yeah, I saw it, but it doesn't concern me because, Gags has kind of come to Super League at the wrong time, if that makes sense. He's come when it's wet. He's not used to that. It's windy. He's certainly not used to that. He's used to a dry track. NRL is a much different game the way it's played. It's far more attacking, so he's just got to learn how the English game's played. I think once he's got hold of that and hits the straps, he's gonna come into his own. Like I've said before, and I've said it again, he's a great fullback, and we are going to see a good Jacob Gagai. We're just going to give him a bit of time.
Don't get me wrong, mate. I think there's a player in there. However, it's upsetting me, old mate. David Armstrong's adapted pretty quickly. You know, the likes of Tessie New have adapted pretty quickly.
Yeah, but not everyone's the same. You know, historically you've seen these NRL players come over and they've tended to play better in the second season. There are the odd one that will do well. David Armstrong has done well. Clearly got a bit of butterfingers. And you know, Gagai didn't have that same problem. So you know, there's nuances here, there, and everywhere. You could go for and against with everything with him, but you know, for him, he's just going to have to learn how to play in English weather. And I'm not worried. I'm just not worried.
Well, I've just got a text message from a David Armstrong. You knew Huddersfield would come in. The reason they were buttery, he was baking you a cake, sir. Anyway, that's another story. We'll move swiftly on from that one. Yeah, look.
You two,
no, hey. It's a point well made. And to be fair, you know, Joel was articulate as always. I've got no issues with that. Right, look, I think this is going to be a belting game. I really, really do. I think these two teams, they know how important it is. They have to win. You know, if they have got any ambition at all, any ambition of threatening the six, then they need to win this game. And of course, there's that bit of that thing called pride, because this could be one of those games that determine who finishes above who at the end of the season. So there's a lot riding on this for these two teams, and that should make it an epic encounter. Steph, you've seen them twice this season. You know, they were in the game against Warrington, Huddersfield, as well as yourself. And I think that's the point. Before I come in and we start going round in terms of predictions, Huddersfield have played two top six sides start of this season from last year and have attributed themselves really well. Hull FC were fantastic against Catalan, but then came Wigan. So I think this is we're gonna find out. I think a lot about Hull FC on Friday night. We really are. At the moment, I'm impressed. Even though Huddersfield have got no points, I'm impressed in terms of their defensive improvement. You know, their tackle efficiency has gone up. You know, which is really, really good to see, because if you're tackling with efficiency and you're doing your job there, you earn the right to win games. They earn the right to beat Lee. They earn the right to beat Warrington. They came out on the wrong side. So I think Huddersfield fans have got a lot to be happy about considering the injuries. Hull FC, this is massive. Because if they were to fall to Huddersfield, wow. That's all I'm going to say. Wow. Right. Over to Greg. Greg, you can. Oh, sorry, it was Steph, wasn't it, first? Actually, Greg, have you actually talked about this one? I don't know if you have you? You're last this time. Mate. Go on, Greg. My apologies. Go for it, mate. Your take on this game.
It's all right, mate.
And then you can finish with your prediction. Go on, son.
I think it's a great opportunity for some Hull youngsters to show how good they are and to show that it was wrong to bring in some of the players that they brought in. I think with the Huddersfield massive whispering them home, I think Giants are going to edge this 9-17.
You're going 9-17, the Giants. Right, let's go to the members. The members are going Giants 1-8. See it a little bit tighter. The non-members are also seeing Giants 1-8. What say you, Mr. Sale?
Yeah, like you say, I've seen Huddersfield twice this season. Both times I've been quite impressed with them. I think some of the criticism, what they've come under, particularly before the season even started, I think Huddersfield may have proved a few people wrong with the performances they've put in so far. And when those players come back, Huddersfield are going to be a decent side. And it wasn't just two top six sides they played, Dave. They played the two semi-finalists in Warrington and Lee from last year. So two pretty decent teams, and only just been beaten by both of them. Very close as well for 40 minutes as well. It's just been that little bit that they've run out, which is understandable with the amount of players they've got out. So I'm predicting, I'm going to put a smile on Joel's face, Huddersfield 1-8.
Huddersfield 1-8. Aidan Simpson's gone Giants to win. Craig Forth sees it Hull by 1-8. Alex Sharp FC 9-17. Phil Webster going Giants 9-17. I think there's a little bit of we know what's going on here, don't we? Fraser Howard Giants 1-8. Surprise! He's Leeds, isn't he, Fraser?
I said Giants 9-17, didn't I, mate?
You said Giants 9-17, so
yeah. So yeah.
David Sale going Giants 1-8. Dawn Kirkby FC 1-8. Ryan Birch Giants 1-8. So a lot of changing views in there. Joel, are you backing your team this week?
You know, I'm very happy to be critical of my own team. In the first 2 rounds, I predicted 18 plus. I actually thought 50-0s on both games, and I was very happy to be wrong. I'm very impressed with what I've seen. I was already a bit concerned with our first team anyway, hoping that we're going to come together, then having all the injury problems we've had and so on. So Robinson's really putting a squad together that know how to play together, even if on paper they might not be the strongest squad. We learnt on the final whistle, so you've got to watch it back, that clearly Hull FC, like you said, have got the best fullback in the world. They're going to trounce Huddersfield 600-0, so I'll be wrong to say what my prediction is, but I'm actually going to go for a Huddersfield win 1-8.
Fantastic. By all accounts, Asiata is playing, so Carrie and Dawn Kirkby are saying that there's a good chance that Asiata is playing. That's what they're hearing on the grapevine. So that's happy days. Wonderful stuff. Right, in the chat, let's get this on the screen before I give my prediction. This is young Alfie's charity action for Alfie. Please go across to their Facebook page. Go and see the great work that young Alfie, he's only 10, what great work he's doing in terms of raising awareness for the disease that he's bravely living with. If you missed the start of the show, Alfie is going to be joining Super League Raw at the Challenge Cup final this season. We're looking forward to having him and his dad at that as our special guests. We're also going to send him a few bits and pieces as well. So please do go over to Action for Alfie. You'll find them on Facebook. Give them all the love and support. What we've seen is, with Rob Burrow, this community, Rugby League as a family, come together. Let's come together for young Alfie. It'd be a lovely thing that we can do as a Super League Raw community. So let's make sure we do that. I'm going Giants 9-17. I'm going big. I'm going 9-17 with Reggie. I think I've seen enough. I've seen enough from the Giants to feel that they could do a job here. I really, really do. Could be wrong. But yeah, I'm going to go Giants. I think what they do need to do is they need to find Swifty some space, because if you can get Swifty on the ball in right field position, we know what Adam Swift can do. You can be 3 tries down in a blink of an eye. So I think that's something that Luke Robinson will be working on. But I was speaking to Earl earlier on. Earl Crabtree's has gone 1-8. The Giants. I was speaking to Earl when he was doing his predictions, and Earl said to me, Luke will be delighted. He won't be happy they've lost, but he'll be very, very happy with those first 2 outings and the way they played. So let's see what happens. It'll be interesting. Bazza Kingston's going a hat trick, no less, for him, which is outstanding, and a lot of people showing some love and support in the chat for young Alfie. Right, let's move over to the Lee Sports Village for this one. Same time, Friday night. An improved Catalan Dragons. Let's not forget that. An improved Catalan Dragons at the Warrington Wolves. Can they improve yet again? Lee, great win against Wigan. And a professional win, I would say, against Huddersfield. It was in the mire, terrible conditions. Once Armstrong scored, though, you just felt that was that. It was game over. Armstrong, brilliant second half. The new lads, Ethan O'Neill, Tessie New, just settled in beautifully well at the Lee Leopards. Interesting times. That said, like I say, Catalan, there is a side there. At some point, the Dragons will breathe fire. There's no doubt about that. The question is, will it be this week? Joel, your turn to go first, sir. What's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, really tough on this one. Before I give my thoughts, if you don't mind me just saying, I want to say a massive thank you to Steph for looking after us, sorting us out. It was absolutely wonderful time. Really loved it at LSV. Can't wait to go again. By far the best fan experience I've ever seen. That was wonderful. And a little shout out as well to Craig and Jodie. It was lovely to meet you. So thank you for coming up and saying hello. And please do that again if we see you, because it was lovely to meet you. So thank you. From what I've seen of Lee, I'm not surprised that they're playing well. What I am surprised is how well they've played, so early, how they've clicked. Some have said that they've strengthened as a team. Some say they've weakened a little bit. I thought they strengthened, and clearly they have. They're looking so dangerous. They're in second. You're in second, aren't you, Steph? Yeah. But, it's for a reason. I know it's early on, but what we've seen from Lee so far has been a very dangerous attacking squad that know how to defend as well. And some of the players that you've got there, David Armstrong, man, what a weapon he is. He's so fast. We know Catalan have got some very dangerous strike players. We know they've got some powerful players. But I think with the momentum that Lee's had And with the struggles that Catalan have had from the very beginning, I'm seeing it as a Lee 9-17. That's not to say that Catalan aren't going to come strong, and please don't take that any wrong way to any Catalan fans. It's just with the dynamics of how things have gone, Lee are on an ascendancy.
Fair enough. Your mate Earl's gone Lee 1-8. And by the way, he did say he's going to be texting you because he knows he's ahead of you in the league table. The bragging right crab trees at the moment. He's looking forward to speaking to you, Joel. He's looking forward to speaking to you. Yeah, he's gone 1-8. The Lee Leopards. Greg, I mean, look, we saw Catalan at close quarters last week. Kotrick, very good, very good on the left. No doubt about that. They've got the play. Kiri will get stronger with every passing week. I thought Pangai Jr. and this, I'll be interested to get Steph's views when we get to Steph after you. We saw Huddersfield's front line do a bit of a job on Lee, especially in the first half. Pangai Jr. was a handful for us at the Halliwell. We know they've got the likes of Satai, Busquets, etc. So there's a big pack on the way here to Lee. So it's going to be another testing night, I think, for this new look Lee Leopards front row. Does that give Catalan a chance? If they can get on top of Lee down the middle, they've got the strike on the outside. Could the Dragons go to the Lee Sports Village and turn them over?
Well, there's no reason why not. As I said on Final Whistle, if that's Pangai Jr., I don't want to meet Pangai Sr. But, Catalan have got some great players, but they're a spoiling side as well. And they do know how to slow the play down. In the middle, I thought Morg, and when the Costa came on, I thought they really posed a threat. Rouget at the back, and I thought had a great game as well against us. And I really did think I was worried at one point that they were going to come back at the end and pip us at the post like in the last few minutes because they were really throwing it together. I think that Lee have had a fantastic start to the season. The win at Wigan was fantastic. They ground out a win against Huddersfield at the weekend. It was a real arm wrestle for a lot of the time. But I think I fancy Lee to win this, but not by much. I think Lee will win 1-8. 1-8.
1-8.
1-8.
Is there a floodlight failure coming again?
1-8, and then they kick off at 8, and I think they're going to win 1-8. But yeah, I'm going to get these teeth fixed, to tell you. But yeah, I think Lee will win 1-8. I think the venue will play a lot in it. The crowd will play a lot in this one. Catalan are going to win. Are going to start winning soon. I just don't think this weekend is the weekend they start winning. So
you're going Lee?
Lee 1-8.
Lee 1-8. Right. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. The members, they are going Lee 9-17. The non-members are going Lee 9-17. Does the pack worry you a little bit, Steph? Romain Neverett is also back for this one. He missed out on the warning. So the pack is stronger again. And Remy Smith is back in contention for a centre spot as well. So they're getting a couple of their troops back. Anything? Are you worried, or do you think you'll go 3 from 3?
I think it's definitely a concern, but I would draw comparisons with the Lee and Warrington at the moment, particularly because we've only got a couple of games to go off, and more so based on the Huddersfield games that we've played, against each other. And this is what Huddersfield did. They brought a big pack to us. Don't forget they've got Tom Burgess playing for them. With Pangai Jr. That's a very good comparable, isn't it? But what I think it allows us to do is it allows our backs a bit of space to run. And also it gives Ipape that bit of, if you've got a big pack, they're going to tire quicker. So I think with us doing the Dwyer and Ipape 1-2 on that one, 1-2 punch on it, then I think that kind of helps. So yes, it will be an advantage for Catalan, but it's all about how you play against that, isn't it? And that's where the coaching and the game plan comes into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be a good game. Catalan were no slouches at the HJ. They'll go to the LSV. I think you have to earn the right to win games in Super League this year. We've seen that after 2 rounds. What score are you going, Steph?
Yeah, so I just think the travelling might be it, because I don't think they've stayed over, have they? I think they've gone back and then they're coming back for this one. So it's a very short turnaround of flights and disruption and that kind of thing, which we know can affect Catalan.
Counterbalance that though, you've had the shortest turnaround.
We've had the short, Sunday to Thursday, so it is a short turnaround for us as well. So I'd like to think that we'll have a little bit too much for Catalan just at the moment, and I'm going to go Lee 9-17.
You've gone Lee 9-17. Let's get in the chat. Phil Webster, Lee 1-8. Paul Fail going 9-17 Lee for a surprise. Don Kirby 9-17 Lee. Dave Sale 9-17 Lee, another surprise. Robert Igson 1-8 Leopards. Ryan Birchley 18+. Ooh, that's a biggie, Rye. That's a biggie. Oof. Steph would bite your hand off for that. Bazza Kingston Lee 9-17. Craig Lee 9-17. Andy Bibby going Catalan 1-8. Nigel Bennett 9-17 Lee. More love in the chat for Lee than for Catalan, it's fair to say. I'm going to go Lee. I'm going to go 1-8. I think it could be a tight one again. They kept Warrington to one try. They've got it in them to do it, and I think Catalan will improve. That said, I think Lee will improve. It's just going to be an interesting game. That I'd like to see Catalan competitive. We need a competitive Catalan. They've got the quality in the side to trouble any side, and we want a tight. We don't want blowouts. So I'm hoping this is going to be a real good arm wrestle. Maybe Lee come out on top though.
Just for the ones asking in the chat, we actually spoke with Pene at the game on Sunday, and he said he was a couple of weeks away. So hopefully he should be back in a few weeks.
Yes. Pene Pasta, always good to get an update on him. Nice to see that he's boiling well. Outstanding stuff. Right, okie dokie, that's where we are. So great stuff there. Lee Leopards seem to be everybody's favourite. We now go to this one, another great game, Wakey Trinity. I mean, again, I was talking to Earl earlier on, and me and Steph spoke about this in Round Unpacked. If you'd have said to Darryl Powell, 2 points in the first two games, away to Headingley, then, of course, going to Craven Park, and having a for and against at 0, he would have bit your hand off. I mean, absolutely bit your hand off. That is a great, to take on two Super League size of pedigree. First two games, we saw Wakefield's opening fixtures, and we all winced. They have attributed themselves really well. And, the Up the Trim Brigade, I'm sure, are very, very proud of what their team have delivered thus far, and rightly so. They have been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Right, Greg, you're kicking us off on this one. Wakefield Trinity, St Helens. If only Pratt's in good fight. I tell you what, which side's he on, actually? Which side's it's Percival, isn't it? Percival.
Yeah.
Percival against Pratt. That's going to be a good little tussle, Greg.
It is, and Percival is a great player, but injury prone. He's kind of he's in the twilight of his career. No offense, but yeah, this is a fascinating one because Saints have had. Let's have no disrespect. They've not had the toughest of starts. Wakey have gone to Leeds and won. They lost at the weekend. I think this is a fascinating tussle. And I really do. And I think Saints will be going into this game not expecting to win easily, but expecting to win. And I think that could take them by surprise. But I'm going for Saints 9-17 on this one.
9-17, the Saints says Greg. Let's look at the members. The members have gone Saints 9-17. The non-members have gone Saints 9-17. Where are you at with this one, Steph?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. BBC game, so it can be a good bit Saturday afternoon rugby. I think this is probably Saints' hardest fixture so far, based on what we've seen from Wakefield, especially at home. I thought they put up a really good performance against Hull KR as well, and that grade, I'm sure it'll be close to a sellout again for this one. So. One of the things that they're doing really well there is getting the atmosphere going and the build up. And I'm hoping with the BBC cameras there on Saturday, it's going to be the same. I think Saints are going to have a bit more of a tougher time than they did against Castleford. I think Wakefield will be well up for this one and be full of confidence based on their performances to date. And so I'm going to go for a close one again. I think Wakefield's defence has been really, really impressive. I think they've defended superbly, not just their attack. And I think that will have an impact on Saints, but I think Saints will just have enough, and I'm going Saints 1-8.
Saints 1-8. Yes, okie dokie. Some good news for Wakey. Jake Truman should be back from his illness, so that's good news for them. Still no Cam Scott or Nicotimo. They're going to be out for a while. So too Rodwell and Hood. Josh Griffin's nowhere near as well, is what we're hearing. Of course, we know Lewis Murphy is out. And again, we extend our best wishes to Lewis Murphy and to Frankie Holton. Again, two players there that have gone down with, injuries that are going to keep them out for a fair few rounds. So we hope that they do well. But good news as well for Wakey, in the fact that Morgan Knowles won't be playing in this. Knowles, I think, has had a really good start to the season. He obviously went off with HIA against Casford, and he's going to be missing as well. Joel.
Yeah, you're right. Knowles is pivotal in these games for Saints. So Wakey are not the team that we've known over the past few years. This is a different squad. They're hungry. You can see when they've lost, and they're hurting when they've lost. That they're playing like lives depend on them every single game, and that's the rugby league that we know and love. We want every team to be like that. It's been brilliant to watch Wakefield, especially being a West Yorkshire lad myself as well, seeing that Wakefield are putting up a fight like they have. They're going to be a test for Saints, and I'm with Steph on this. I'm going Saints 1-8. I think they've just got that little bit too much for them with the amount of people at Wakey have got out. But they're going to really put up a fight, and I'm really hoping that they can put on a show.
Yeah, well, Earl's gone Saints 9-17. He sees it a bit wider than you do there. Don Kirby's gone the same. Alex Sharp 18 plus for the Saints. Craig Forth 18 plus for the Saints. 9-17 says Ryan. Robert Hickson gone Trinity 1-8. So a bit of love there for Trin. Phil Webster Saints 9-17. Dave Sale going the same way. Will Webster, Wakey 1-8, so another one there for Wakey. Trinity Steve, I wonder who he supports. He's Trinity by 8. We need more Trinity fans as a member. Get that QR code done, young Steve. It'd be good to have another Trinity fan in the family. Draw Golden Point Wakefield says Nige Bennett. We take that all day long. I'm going to go Saints 1-8, and for all you up the Trinners out there, I think that shows it. I think the amount of us that have gone 1-8, Steph's gone Saints 1-8. I've gone Steph 1-8. There's a few in the chat that have gone Saints 1-8. 9-17, the vast majority. Only one, I think I read 18 plus. You should be delighted. Absolutely delighted. That's respect. Believe you me, before ball had been kicked, many would have penciled this in for a Saints 18 pluser. You played that well. Respect where it's due. We give respect where it's due at Super League Raw. We think you're going to go well at the weekend. Hopefully you do. We want to see another really good spectacle this weekend. But I'm going to go, like I say, Saints 1-8. And like I say before, ball was kicked. You probably tap that, Wakey fans. And who knows in the game of rugby league. Right, there we come to this one. Of course, all the momentum, all the build-up. And, I get it, outside of Wigan and Warrington, people might be a bit fed up about this. This is a monumental moment for the sport of rugby league. We should celebrate it. We should say positive about it. This is going to be wonderful, absolutely wonderful to see us on this stage, British Rugby League on this stage this coming Saturday. We should all be very, very happy indeed. Next year, there's a queue. Leeds want to go. KR want to go. Saints want to go. Lee want to go. It won't be Warrington and Wigan next year. Again, the door ajar. Maybe it'll be 2 games next year in Vegas. Other people's time will come. But look, you need to be all over this. We want good viewing figures on Sky for this. This is a monumental moment for British Rugby League. And hey, the NRL is watching. We know the NRL are courting potentially getting involved in Super League. So, let's hope this is a really good, enticing fixture for them. Joel, I'm going to let you kick off, mate. You've got to be excited about it. Which way is it going to go?
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. This has to be the game of the round, possibly the game of the year. It's got the makings of everything. Vegas, all the flashing lights. Absolutely beautiful. What a game this is. And hopefully the Americans get to see just how great rugby is, as opposed to them lot who wear pads because they want to protect themselves. Anyway, this is going to be a very close game. Sam Burgess is not going to let Warrington slip up at all here. He's going to be with them the whole way. I think, naturally you go Wigan for the win because they've had the experience of these massive games, more grand finals. I am going to Wigan 1-8, but that is purely down to they're used to that big occasion just ever so slightly more than Warrington is, though I would love Warrington to sneak the win.
Tony Pennington and Carrie both saying it's on Showcase. So even if you've not got a Sky Sports subscription, you can watch this. So there's no excuses. No excuse at all if you've got a Sky package to not be watching this at the weekend. Earl goes with you. He sees it Wigan 1-8. Greg, your view?
Yeah, I mean, this is massive, isn't it? You know, we've really put the sport out there. Congratulations to both teams. I'm a Warrington fan. I'm going to be biased, but congratulations to both teams for putting it out there. We've had a lot of great publicity over the last few weeks. A lot of good marketing successes. Roy Keane getting behind the sport. Micah Richards singing with Leeds Rhinos. You know, we need to build on this. We need to build on this. I'm hoping it's not a repeat of the Challenge Cup final, which was a damp squib. Not if you're a Wigan fan, obviously. I'm hoping it's not a repeat of the grand final, which was a damp squib. Not if you're a Wigan fan, obviously. I'm hoping it's a great game. I just get the feeling that Wigan, as Joel says, when it's a big occasion, they know what to do. They're the best at growing into that occasion, at dealing with it. And I think it'll be quite close for a lot of the game, where I think Wigan will run away at the end of it. And I think because Warrington have maybe not hit the straps yet this season. Wigan was shocked by Lee, absolutely shocked, and bounced back last week. And I think Wigan 9-17. And that hurts to say it.
Well, it's Wigan 9-17.
Say it, but I think it'll be close for, remember Milwaukee, and that was close for a while, a long time ago. 9-17 Wigan.
Milwaukee has got no bearing on this, but anyway,
I know, but
move on.
It's what Wigan do.
Members have gone Wigan 1-8. Non-members have gone Wigan 1-8. Steph, try and be brief because the clock is ticking.
Wigan 9-17.
Really expecting you to be that brief.
No, I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a great game. What a brilliant advertisement for our game. To get somewhere like Las Vegas just shows how far it's going, and this call comes back to the NRL and all that kind of thing, and hopefully we can see more of it next year. Hopefully we get two games there. I think that'd be brilliant for Super League. Really looking forward to it. I just think we're going to have a little bit too much here. 9-17.
Fabulous, well done. Where are we? Everybody pretty much. I've not seen anybody go Warrington, and that's probably based on the fact that Warrington have not hit their straps yet. Will it be this weekend? Who knows? But I think Wigan at the moment just look better 2 rounds in than Warrington do. They know big game mentality, and they know it really well. I'm going Wigan 9-17. I'm going with Greg. I think Wigan will win it, but let's just hope that it is a late couple of tries that Wigan get, and it's a real close tussle for the best part of 60 to 70 minutes, because that way what we know is if it's a close one between these two for that long, it's going to be a bit of a spectacle. But anyway, best of luck to both sides, and enjoy it, those who are out there. Right, last but not least, we're going to have to go at a pace where we've got 12 minutes left. Leeds against Castleford. Castleford woeful last week. Leeds got the job done. Castleford, there was a reaction from Castleford post Bradford. They were a lot better when they came up against KR. They've just had a bloody nose by Saints. Can they do it again? Joel, we're going to start with you. Leeds, Castleford, where do you see it?
Castleford impressive. Like you said, bloody nose. They're going to struggle a little bit. Leeds are on a bit of an ascendancy with having played some far better games than Cass have. I have got Leeds 9-17 and been a home fixture. It's always hard at Headingley.
Yeah, Earl has gone the same. Leeds Rhinos 9-17. Greg, over to you. Do we expect Riley Lund to have another field day?
He could do. Leeds have got some injuries, some key players out. Castleford will be wounded again. Just missed out against OKR, humbled last week. Rhinos 18.
Just on that note, Ron Milnes could be back for Cass. That'd be big.
That's a big plus. Could be a benefit to Castleford. Rhinos 18 plus.
Fabulous. Members have gone Leeds 9-17. Non-members have gone Leeds 9-17. What say you, Steph?
I think Cass obviously will be hurting from that performance last week. Danny Maguire going back to Leeds, a bit like him going back to KR. I think that might be a little bit of a factor in this one to make it a bit closer. Obviously, Leeds potentially we're going to be without Frawley, Croft, Cam Smith. That are big players in pivot positions as well. So I think Leeds will just have enough. I'm going Leeds 9-17.
9-17 Leeds Rhinos. In the chat, a lot of love for Leeds. Phil Webster leads them 1-8. Paul's going the same way. Nige going the same way. Andy Bibby's gone Cats 1-8. Good on you there, Andy lad. That's always good to see a change and difference of opinion. David Sale leads 9-17. I'm going Leeds 18 plus. I've got to, based on that performance from Casford last week. Leeds are at home. I've got to. I can't. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's a lot closer. But based on what we saw last week, I've got to go Leeds 18 plus. I really do. I'm sorry to say that, Cas fans. I hope I'm wrong. We will wait and we will see. Right, we've just got enough time to fit this in.
Are you sick and tired of winning your bets every week? Want to contribute to the bookies' Christmas party? The bets to ignore when predicting the score. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Bet Steph.
Over to you, Steph. Over to you.
Thank you. We have got 6 this week, so rather than the 5 last week, with obviously what was going on at Salford. So yeah, I think you'll see in my predictions this week. I've not gone for anyone 18 plus in any of the fixtures this week. So I do see them being some quite close games. I do think KR are going to have enough just to overcome that handicap. I think it's going to be close, minus 12.5, but I think they may just get 14, 16 points difference on Salford. So I pick KR minus 12.5 in this one. Lee minus 5. Again, I've got to back Lee, haven't I, on that one? Being at home, the travel for Catalan and the recent performances. But again, could be another close one. The Hull FC Huddersfield game, who knows which way is that going to go? But I backed Huddersfield 1-8, so I've got to pick them to beat that one minus 2.5 handicap. Interesting, the bookies have given a handicap on that one, so that's quite interesting where the bookies see it. Wakefield plus 13.5. I think it's very generous given how well Wakefield have defended this season. I'm expecting another good defensive display. So I think giving them a 13.5 start against Saints is pretty generous at home. So I pick Wakefield on this one. Wigan minus 7.5. I do see quite a few tries in this game between Wigan and Warrington. I think they're going to want to throw the ball about and put a show on, both teams. But I think Wigan will just have a bit more execution and just maybe get a couple of late tries late on in the game. So I've backed them to make up that minus 7.5 handicap. And Castleford 19.5. Again, we a few days called about 18 plus. I just think with not having Croft and not having Cam Smith and Frawley doubtful, I think their attack may suffer a little bit because of that. I think they'll still win this game, but I think a Castleford plus 19.5 is going to be just enough for them to get over the line. So that means the odds on this accumulator is 47.23. So if you bet £1 on this one,
you're going to lose £1, Steph. You're going to lose £1. That's what you're going to do. It's just for fun. Of course, we don't condone gambling here on Super League Raw, but it's something that people do. So, hey, if you fancy backing Steph on that one, a quid gets you 47.23 if it comes in. And of course, we're yet to get a winner this year, but believe me, once Steph does, he will be letting us know about it. Right, we've come to an end of another fantastic show. We're sending Alfie to the Challenge Cup final. Make sure you go to Alfie's page on Facebook. Support the lad. Support all he's doing. I'll be in touch with his dad very, very soon. Remember, you members allow us to do what we're going to do for Alfie. There is a QR code there on the screen. Not only are you going to be a part of a great community, you can come and watch matches with us. You can have banter with us. It's the best community in rugby league that we're building, and we're giving it back. We're doing things like this for Alfie. We've got great competitions this season. If you want 7 days a week rugby league, this is the place to be. No clickbait, just proper stories, proper reporting, proper journalism. That's what it's all about. We really hope that you will take the time to do that QR code. Go over to superleagueraw.com. That's superleagueraw.com. Check out our news stories on there. Check out the memberships. Pick the one that's right for you. For the equivalent of one latte a month, just one latte a month, you can be watching our programs every day and interacting with a fantastic, fantastic community. Gentlemen, just another week come and gone. How these go by so fast, I will never, ever know. But anyway, we're going to have to go. Thank you very much indeed, everybody, for your love and for your support. We're going to go out with, as we always do, the top performers. That's where we're going to go out. On behalf of us all, we'll look forward to seeing you next week. And for you members, we will be seeing you at the social tomorrow night. And, of course, for the Captain's Run on Thursday. Enjoy your week, everybody. See you the same time, same place for more Super League World Weekly next Tuesday. Because, gentlemen,
You can't beat a bit weekly.
you can. Good
See
night.
you later, guys.
Here are your top performers after 2 rounds of the Betfred Super League. Joining Tristan Saylor as the top try scorer in the division is his teammate Harry Robertson with 4. The most try assists have come from Jack Wellesby at St Helens with 8. The highest meter maker is once again Matt Duffy, having topped the charts in 2024. He's back again in 2025 with 426. The most clean breaks have come from that young man once again, Harry Robertson at St Helens with 5. Whilst the top tackler is Zach Wolford of Huddersfield Giants with 103. The most tackle busts have come from Jack Wellesby of St Helens with 20. Whilst the most hard meters down the middle, you're going to be a prop forward, second row loose forward in this one is Alex Walmsley with 413. The most offloads have come from Tavita Pangai Jr. of the Catalan Dragons with 9. Whilst Mark Percival still tops the goal-kicking charts with 16. These are your top performers after 2 rounds of the Betfred Super League.